So Israel Adesanya versus Joe Pyfer is this weekend, and is this the end for Israel Adesanya? I'm not too sure. I'm not gonna lie to you. Do I have somebody that I favor in the matchup? I do. I really do. I think Izzy really does have a good chance of beating Pyfer. But hold on now, I'm not that confident Izzy's gonna win the matchup. That's why I'm gonna make a prediction video by at least Wednesday, and then I'll have my dead set on the pick. However, for now, I am favoring Izzy to win this matchup, and you may ask why. I don't believe Joe Pyfer is on Izzy's level or in general in the top 5. Like, I understand he has power and all, but if you look at the matchups he has and look at his fight in general, he's not that crazy on the feet. I understand he has the power to knock out Izzy, but who is Pyfer really KOing like that? Like, I understand he has power and all, but if you watch the matchups he's fighting, these guys don't have crazy chins like that. I understand Izzy has been dropped by a Malvo, been dropped by Strickland, kinda got dropped by DDP in a way, not really that crazy. I don't really think he got hurt that badly, but he did get rocked in a moment. However, though, I understand that. But they're way better strikers than Joe Pyfer is. That's the thing. Like, they're way better strikers than Joe Pyfer is. Plus, then again, getting dropped by a Malvo and Strickland isn't really the best looking. Before you say, Malvo does have pop. He has decent power, but he couldn't put out Phil Hawes. Like, that's not the best look. Even Chris Curtis put out Phil Hawes. Just saying, that was his debut fight. So, I'm just saying, not the best look. And he also lost to Phil Hawes. Oh, no. And Malvo back then wasn't really that crazy. He has upgraded a bit now. But, man, before he used to be a little bit mid. But yeah, getting dropped by a Malvo and finish like that isn't really the best look, but it's not that bad. Strickland is a little but he didn't get finished. He did get dropped, but again, these are way better strikers than Joe Pyfer. Like, Strickland has a very good accurate rate when it comes to landing a shot, and it comes with more volume than freaking Joe Pyfer does. Same thing with Malvo, more active on the feed. Like, I'm just saying, they're way better strikers, better with counters, better with pretty much everything, defense as well. Like, I don't know, it's just with Pyfer, I rewatched some fights, and he kind of just does the same thing over and over again. I can name them right now. Look at the list I just made. Alright, this was after watching some Pyfer tape, and this is pretty much what he does for most of his fights. He has an overhand, he has a check hook, hook to the body, jab to the body. Not too bad so far, straight right hand he has. He has a decent uppercut when he lands it. I think that might give Izzy some issues, I'm not gonna lie, but I think it's gonna be mostly the straight right hand that will give Izzy more issues. But other than that, he doesn't really do much with it. He also kind of fights with one hand as well. Like, he is kind of a one-handed fighter. If you saw his fight against Gaslam, he kind of just fought with one hand and kind of just didn't really throw a jab either. Like, he has an okay jab when he lands it, but he doesn't really throw it often. He kind of threw it often against Jack Hermanson. Maybe he could do it against Izzy, especially when he's gonna be moving backwards. And he also has a decent calf kick, but he doesn't really throw it often. I don't understand why he doesn't, because those things look like they hurt, and I feel like if he threw it more often, it would be a little bit more effective. But I don't know, that's just Pyfer's game. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all he has. He doesn't really have much on the feet. He's a one-handed fighter. Like, I don't understand how Izzy will have struggled with this, but I understand the power will be the difference maker. But the one thing I started to notice, he can't really circle off the cage really well when somebody can move laterally. Like, Izzy is probably the best dude to do it, and Hermanson was doing really well, moving backwards, not getting hit. And even before then, Hermanson was still eating shots from Pyfer, even when he was standing stationary. Like, also with Pyfer, he doesn't really throw combinations like that. I started to notice that as well. Like, he does throw combinations here and there, but it's not as often as you think. Like, he did throw a lot of combinations against Jack Hermanson. In the first 2 rounds you saw in the fight, he looked pretty good. I'm like, okay, if Pyfer fights like this, he might be Izzy, but he couldn't keep up that pace for long. Like, he started to gas out. Then after a while, he couldn't cut out the cage no more. Jack Hermanson was just doing his thing, moving laterally. And also another thing, when they move laterally, Pyfer does kind of get a little stationary and tries to figure them out what they're going to do next, and he kind of just takes pictures for a decent amount of time. Because if you saw against Gaslam, even Gaslam was when he started to move around a bit, Pyfer was having struggle trying to land the shot, and he didn't look as clean as he did in round 1 and 2. So, I'm just saying, if Gaslam is giving you a little bit of issues when it comes to lateral movement, I feel like Izzy is going to do a lot better at that. And Hermanson kind of proved that, I already said this, that if you move laterally, you're going to get Pyfer a lot of issues, because he does end up taking a lot of pictures and becoming less active on the feet. And also, Pyfer does get really frustrated when they start to do that. When they start to move laterally, he does get a little bit frustrated, try to throw big shots, and then he ends up just throwing big meaty hooks and never landing. And I feel like if Izzy plays that game plan where, like, oh, I'm going to make this dude miss over and over again, I feel like he's going to gas out Pyfer, especially the calf kicks. If he adds them there, here and there, he could finish Pyfer off of that. The only big issue is Is Pyfer gonna shoot? That's the thing. That's the big worrisome. If Pyfer does not shoot, it's gonna be easy night for Izzy, in my opinion. But if Pyfer mixes us up, try to shoot the takedown, he might actually be Izzy. Because we know Izzy's takedown defense is okay, but if somebody can actually wrestle, they get them down pretty easily. Marvin Vettori had his back and stuff. However, though, Pyfer is pretty good when it comes to offensively grappling a bit, but he doesn't use it often. And I'm not going to rely on somebody to do something that they don't do often. Like, I understand he does shoot occasionally, but if you're having struggle with a dude moving back and forth, I don't feel like you're going to be able to shoot, and Pyfer's not going to look for that opportunity. He might shoot a sloppy takedown, but I don't think he will get it. Like, Pyfer isn't really that dominant in the first takedown. Like, he probably could get the second one maybe, but like, I don't know. It's just every time he shoots a shot, he doesn't really get it often, unless you're Gastelum, but Gastelum is kind of a midget, you know? Like, he couldn't take down Hermanson, he couldn't take down Albus initially, but then again, these guys are way better grapplers than Izzy, though, so I don't know, man. That's the thing. The grappling might be a big changer here, man. But I think I'm still going to stick with Izzy for now. I think I'm going to stick to him. I need to watch a little bit more tape of it. Pyfer, maybe he's a little bit more dominant. I give him credit for, but I don't think his entries are that crazy. That's the big issue for me. Like, he doesn't have crazy entries. Like, he's very strong, and if he gets to your hips, he's going to get you down, but he doesn't have the craziest entries, and he doesn't shoot super often. Even when he does have a grappling game plan, he'll shoot one takedown, but if he misses, he's not going to shoot another one because he's going to be worried about gassing out. Fuck, hold on for a minute. I almost gassed myself out saying that sentence. Freaking, I put the air go away for a second. I almost saw a black light for a second. The light, man. I almost got taken out, man. Oh, just kidding now. But yeah, back to the point. Yeah, if Pyfer shoots, he's not going to land another takedown, or he's not going to shoot another takedown for a while because he's going to be too worried about gassing out. So for that reason alone, I'm not going to pick him to grapple, because even if he does grapple, he's probably going to gas out shooting more than one takedown. But if he actually MMA and try to mix up the arts like you're supposed to, he might actually have a good chance because, I'm going to be worried about overhand when the dude's shooting on me. So maybe he could get it done by doing that, but I don't know. Every time I try to pick a fighter doing that, they never do it. So I'm not going to trust somebody else where they can't really cut off the cage to do it. You know, that's the thing. Maybe Pyfer can, but I don't think he will. Like, if Izzy just stays busy, tries to not get hit, try to not get cornered. Even if he gets cornered, I feel like Pyfer's going to be a little too worried because there is pop coming back. Like, if Pyfer has him against the cage, you think Pyfer's going to just land bombs on him? I don't think so. He's going to be too worried about the counter and getting Alex Pereira. I'm just saying. And that's also another thing. Somebody that's really good at cutting off the cage. Alex Pereira was having a bunch of struggle trying to do that to Izzy. I understand, though, that Izzy could be washed. And if Izzy loses the Pyfer, I do believe he's washed because I feel like almost any version of Izzy could have been the Pyfer. Maybe not the Gaslam version, but like the one in his prime would have beat Pyfer any day. There was no way Pyfer would beat Izzy in his prime. But since we're not in the semi-prime and we're trying to see if you're still good or not, it is a little bit of a tricky matchup because I am worried that you will go out cold. And I'm not that confident in you winning. So I'm like a good 60%. No. I'm a good 50% chance that you're going to win. It's kind of a 50-50 matchup because his chin is a little iffy, especially now. At one time he had a granite chin, but now it's a little iffy some, so yeah. But yeah, if Izzy just circles around him, don't really try to engage too much, land calf kicks, and just make him miss, I feel like he will beat Pyfer, and maybe even get a finish in round 4. But then again, Izzy's game plan isn't really going for the finish, but he should kinda, because trying to go 5 rounds with a power puncher is a little worrisome. But then again, you could probably do like a Lerone versus Josh Emmett type matchup. This could be the same fight, honestly. Like, I don't know, should we glaze Izzy if he wins the fight and it's like freaking Lerone versus Josh Emmett? I don't feel like we should glaze it too much, but it would be a dominant win if freaking Izzy wins, or he'll finish him in the later rounds. I could see him getting knocked down a round though, so if you want to bet that, I could see that happening. Maybe in round 2, I could see that happening. Like, Izzy has a tough round 2, then he comes back in round 3 and 4 or 5, and yeah, I think that's what he would do, honestly. I do think there will be a knockdown, but I don't know though, because I don't know if Izzy has crazy recovery like that. Like, he's kind of known for having a good chin initially. He's not really known for his crazy recovery like that, so I don't know. But yeah, I'm going to go Izzy on this matchup for now, but I might change my pick by Wednesday. But What you guys think? Do you guys think Izzy's gonna be cooked? Is he gonna be done? Is he not gonna look the same? I'm very curious what you guys think about this matchup, and is Izzy gonna win? I'm not too sure, but if you have something to say and you think he's gonna win, or you think not, just put it in the comments. So that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys later for another one. And yeah, that's pretty much it. God bless all of you, and talk to you guys later. I'm gonna try to think of another video to make, but I'm not really sure what to make. So God bless all of you, and talk to you guys later.